What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. So, I was thinking today and yesterday of how I think I made a mistake. I was talking to one of my wives, and I said, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? We're all just kind of living in our own little echo chambers. And just sort of trying to diminish what I've been bitching about for a little while. Like, you guys know that the political stuff has kind of been center of attention for many for a little while now. Of course, now the election's over and I think we can all relax. But I realized I might have been wrong when I said that. And here's why. It seems like the ones who are living in the echo chambers are just your general folks who are woke or whatever. Doesn't it seem that way? Here's why, and I'm quite sure this is a fact. So, I've explained this many times, but if you look up who owns the media, right? Who owns entertainment, academia? Who are these world powers and principalities? It's only 6 global corporations. You could Google this. So that's why when we're watching mainstream media, when we're playing video games, when we're watching a movie, when we're in school, when we're listening to fucking music, it's always the same goddamn bullshit. Same message. Same subliminal messaging. Same brainwashing. It really is, man. It's fucked up. And the only thing in the forefront that is like a contrary opinion or whatever is Fox News, right? But the crazy part is Fox News is controlled opposition. And like, it's kind of funny they mock the woke stuff and all that, but they're controlled opposition. They're owned by the same damn conglomerates. You know, you have to have the other side kind of there, you know, so that the people feel like they have a choice or whatever. They feel like they're living in freedom or whatever. Yeah, man, it's fucked up. So, and the strange thing is, Fox News is like embarrassing, you know? Like, if you're flipping through it in front of your woke family, you're flipping through TV, and all of a sudden Fox goes away. You like want to like, oh shit, there it is, get away. Like, it's even embarrassing for those who are kind of awakened to this brainwashing and everything else. But I think that they intentionally put a bunch of Muppets on there. You know, they intentionally harness the audience, but then steer it in a different direction or make them look like a bunch of idiots. You know what I mean? It's something like that. It's just controlled opposition. So with that being said, that's the only one that's like a different opinion and of all this mainstream shit and all the music, all the news, all the entertainment, all the movies, all the damn schools, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know how else to say it, man. These folks are blind. And hell, I wonder if it has anything to do with what Jesus said in the New Testament of how they will have eyes, but will not see, and ears, but will not hear. Ever perceiving, but never seeing. All right. I wonder if that's what's going on now. Because how easy is it to just be asleep? I mean, I feel like for a while, I was kind of asleep. Of course, maybe I still am, right? Maybe this is a double deception going on here. or triple deception or some shit. But I mean, I'm saying I used to kind of trust the powers of the world, as strange as that sounds. It's like, oh yeah, they must, they have our best interests in mind. Oh yeah, these big global corporations and all these celebrities and all this shit they're teaching in school. Oh yeah, I mean, they mean good. But how ignorant is that? It's like you're saying they're dumb, you know? Like, oh yeah, they just don't realize that this is destroying the fabric of a functioning civilization. This dissenting narrative of social decay and rot and all this shit they're trying to inject to make everyone hate each other. You know what I mean? And they've given us this fake world that we live in. It really is kind of like a Matrix, the way that they were able to contrive this shit. Where they go to the Federal Reserve, right? They sell out the US dollar. They take it off of anything that's of intrinsic value. They take it off the gold standard. And then they start printing the shit out of it. They force other countries to tie into their central banks through wars, military-industrial complex. Then they're forced to use the US dollar, right? And then they start outsourcing all their manufacturing and all their oil. Then you have all this labor all over the place. I mean, people have been complaining about it for years, right? The sweatshops and the children, right? The slave labor in Big Red Dragon country. And so you have these nations that are like forcing work to produce shit, cheap shit that could be shipped over here. And we can buy it with our money. And then it creates this sort of imbalance of everything. Where all this little shit that's made, I mean, that's supposed to be made here. If you want to have like an economy built from the ground up. But we've been given this fake world. And now we're in a position where a lot of the world wants to back out of it. You know how fucked we'd be if they say, we're not going to accept your US dollar anymore. They're not going to be making our shit then. You know, what are we going to do? 90% of our medicine is made in Big Red Dragon country, right? What the hell are we going to do without the medicine? All of a sudden that gets shut off right away. Because they're like, oh yeah, we kicked your dollar out of our economy because you keep printing the shit out of it and stirring up all these wars with intent of, I don't know, causing more social unrest, civilization destruction, and so forth. So with that being said, we got rid of your dollar, and obviously we're not going to want to make shit for you anymore because we don't want your damn dollar, right? So we're done with that. You know how fucked we'd be? But people don't even realize this shit, you know? They don't realize what any of that means. They're like, oh yeah, well, the purchasing power of a dollar, what the hell does that mean? Huh, what the hell is a net fiscal drain? You know, what do you mean, Iceman? What do you mean, Iceman? Oh yeah, like a century ago or some shit. You could live on a single family income, you know what I mean? Have a good house, good job, or a good house. The wages would keep up with everything, this and that and the third, pay for groceries, everything else. And it's like what they're teaching us, these powers that be, they're like, oh yeah, what happened is all the businesses just got really, really greedy all of a sudden. It was like a train. They're like, they're like, yeah, okay, we can charge them this for the eggs. And then another 10 years, 50 years go by, they're like, oh, we can charge them more. And then it's like 2010 or something. And I'm talking about like, you know, all the little things, the iPhones, the rent, the gas, they're like, and then all of a sudden Trump gets in. And gas drops to like record lows and groceries and everything else. And they're like, they just slow down for some reason, even though like I thought rich man helps all the rich folk and only the rich folk. I don't know, but they slow down. And then that 2020 thing happened and Biden got in and all of a sudden they just got really greedy again. Just like inflation, right? Like, that's the sort of messaging that they're trying to get us to believe. You know, it's like, they just didn't realize they could charge more. You know, they were just stupid or something. You know, they just didn't realize. They're like, oh, wow, look, we can raise the prices on this. People just keep buying it. You know what I mean? When obviously it's doing that because the dollar's losing purchasing power. And because there's not enough competition allowed within the marketplace. The more competition you allow to thrive in a marketplace, it's going to bring down all the prices, man. If we're drilling the shit out of Patagonia and we're deregulating like fucking everything, there's going to be all sorts of competition coming into the mix. Like if you ever try to sell something online, something like clothing, for example, that everybody needs, right? It's like food. It's like a fucking necessity. What happens is you go out and buy clothing, like the used shit. The more people that get into it, the further and further the price goes down, to the point, like say like a Nike t-shirt or something, to the point where it's almost not even worth selling anymore, because it races to like $5 for the fucking shirt. It races down to where it's almost not even worth selling. You're going to ship the damn thing out for free because there's so many people doing it. And then when Nike says, oh, you can't sell our shirts anymore, boom, it filters out all those people that put it on the used market. And then boom, Nike can set the price. See what I'm saying here? So what happens is the government actually becomes that singular powerful entity the more of this regulation you allow it to impose. They become the corporation. And then they can control those fucking prices. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's not what this video is about, but it just seems to me that they're living in an echo chamber. And of course, the other side's silenced, right? Like if you say something like, oh yeah, the US dollar's been sold out to private bank conglomerates, it's being printed into oblivion to start wars and devalue the currency and ultimately destroy the fucking civilization. They're like, oh, you're a Nazi. You know what I mean? Like it just all connects back to that or something. So then people don't say that shit. And then the other side, they're not getting any rebuttals for all the stuff that the mainstream media and all those woke fucking idiots tell them on the TV and all that shit that they're teaching them in the classroom. So they're like, oh, I'm not getting any rebuttals here. Okay. Well, I don't have to critically think. This just must be how the world is. And everyone else is just a fucking dumbass. You know, then you tell them something like that. You'd be like, hey, do you know when the US dollar was taken off the gold reserve or the gold standard? They'll be like, the fuck you talking about? They'll be like, money's just powerful. I don't know, because, I don't know, there's something in the paper. It's magical or something. You know what I mean? Oh, goddamn. I say, hey, man, you know it's fiat currency, right? They're like, the fuck does that mean? You're a Nazi or something? You know what I mean? Like, that's what they've taught these fucking... I'm not trying to be mean here, but I mean, that's, you know, and that's a good way to go, a good direction to go, I think, with this channel is... You don't got to be mean, and that's kind of what I'm wondering is... I mean, part of me just wants to be silent and observe, you know? These people can stay asleep if they want. Even though the problem is it kind of begins imposing on others' lives. Like when they try to vote your country into a communist stronghold. But of course, it's not going to be strong for long. It's going to be fucked. And people, instead of wanting to come into here, like they do in the millions, we're going to want to get the hell out of here in the millions. You know what I mean? People don't realize, like, they want to come here because it's not that it's magic. It's not that it's magic here. You know what I mean? It's that it's something to do with the stability and the economic prosperity, which is being lost. But it's still enough to want to come here instead of us wanting to go there. You see what I'm saying? It's just these imbalances and fluctuations are all over the fucking place. And it all has to do with that leveraging of this power of the dollar through deception and war and all this other shit. And printing it into oblivion and forced labor elsewhere. But you guys see what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.